which means that any organism with sufficient mass and cognitive capability is a potential vector. Is something wrong?
No, nothing.
Splendid, shall we? Unfortunately, my usefulness to this particular endeavor has come to an end. Protocol does not allow units with my classification to perform a task as important as the reunification of the index with the core. That final step is reserved for you, Reclaimer. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh, really?
Cortana.
I've spent the last 12 hours cooped up in here watching you toady about, helping that thing get set to slit our throats.
Hold on now. He's a friend.
Oh, I didn't realize. He's your pal, is he? Your chum? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes. Activate Halo's defenses and destroy the Flood, which is why we brought the index to the control center.
You mean this?
A construct in the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Sod off!
What impertinence! I shall purge you at once!
You sure that's a good idea?
How dare you? Oh!
Do what? I have the index. You can just float and sputter.
Enough! The Flood is spreading. If we activate Halo's defenses, we can wipe them out.
You have no idea how this ring works, do you? Why the Forerunners built it? Halo doesn't kill Flood. It kills their food. Humans, Covenant, whatever. We're all equally edible. The only way to stop the Flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly what Halo is designed to do. Wipe the galaxy clean of all sentient life. You don't believe me? Ask him.
Is it true?
More or less. Technically, this installation's pulse has a maximum effective radius of 25,000 light years. But once the others follow suit, this galaxy will be quite devoid of life. Or at least any life with sufficient biomass to sustain the Flood. But you already knew that. I mean, how couldn't you?
Left out that little detail, did he?
We have followed outbreak containment procedure to the letter. You were with me each step of the way as we managed this crisis.
Chief, I'm picking up movement.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already done?
We need to go. Right now.
Last time you asked me, if it were my choice, would I do it? Having had considerable time to ponder your query, my answer has not changed. There is no choice. We must activate the ring.
Get us out of here.
If you are unwilling to help, I will simply find another. Still, I must have the index. Give your construct to me, or I will be forced to take her from you.
That's not going to happen.
So be it. Save his head. Dispose of the rest.
Look out.
Hey there, everyone! My name is Monkey Shadow from the Guys Who Play Games, back with some more Halo Combat Evolved. Okay, so, yeah, this level starts you off getting shot the heck out of, and if you aren't immediately reacting, you're gonna get killed. In fact, let me show how fast you die by restarting here.
Look out.
You just kind of drop dead. Sometimes you die, like, almost instantly. And something that's really weird about this, for some reason, if you skip the cutscene, you spawn in facing this way, but if you keep going the whole time, you face the walkway. The funny thing is you actually want to skip because facing the walkway sucks, because they're all looking at you. Whereas if you face the thing, you can just go into cover right away. Anyways. So, here we are. 2 Betrayals. Probably. No, I'd say without a doubt, pretty much, it's my favorite level in the whole series. Like, let's be real. This level is so great that, like, it's not even funny. It's just, like, everything that's great about Halo is in this level, basically.
We need to trigger a detonation on a large scale, however.
There you go.
Starship's fusion
Shoot you.
reactors going
Get out of here.
would do the job.
Oh, but you can see that they just, as soon as one of the Sentinels dies, they just get, like, they just stop caring. They just go straight for me. Anyways, this room sucks. It's really hard. Like, look at that guy. Like, he just nails me. Hey, what do you know? Nilo is actually useful, hey? Imagine that. Anyways, let's get a little closer. Maybe pick this up. Pew, pew, pew. Kill the jackals. Yeah, doing this part of the level, like this little opening part without losing health is actually, like, really difficult. Because, like, you're stuck in, like, a wide open corridor with no cover, and the only weapons you have are... I wouldn't say they're necessarily close range, because everything in this game has pretty good range, but, like, it's pretty difficult to, like... Because you can see, like, that red elite, like, even when I'm far away, he pinpoint accurate. He's pinpoint with you. But yeah, 2 Betrayals. This level is just fantastic if you ask me. Like, pretty much everything that's great about Halo is, like, in this level. That's a little trick. So, there's some elites behind that rock, and they normally come running out once you pop out. But if you know they're there beforehand, you can just kind of not care and just throw a plasma grenade and it kills them. I think I mentioned this before, but grenades in this game are so great. I just love them. Like, something I never even, like, I've always thought about this, but, like, I never really put it into words in any sort of video. It's like, I always thought it was so weird how grenades in this game are so powerful, but in future games they're just so weak. Like, a plasma grenade on the ground, like, it killed those elites, like, on Legendary, and it's like, that's always gonna happen. Like, even, like, Zealots will pretty much just drop dead from a plasma grenade on the ground. But it's like, in future games, it's like, especially on Legendary, if you don't stick something, it does, like, nothing.
Will need to repair them before Halo can be used.
Like, and it's actually kind of hilarious. Like, in Halo 2, I think sticking stuff will generally kill them, but, like, Halo 3 and onward, it's like... Oh shit, I'm not paying attention. Oh god, I'm really not paying attention. I'm too busy thinking about the grenades. Haha! No. Ow. By the way, I'm gonna point this out right now. Be really careful about shotgunning jackals, because your shots will actually bounce off their shield, and if you shoot, like, dead on, they will bounce straight back towards you, and generally you just, like, drop dead, because you do a lot of damage to yourself. Especially if you're close quarters with a shotgun, right? But yeah, like, in Halo 2, like, they're still... Well, in Halo 2, it's like they're not very strong from the ground, but they are actually pretty strong if you stick. Even on Legendary, most stuff will die from getting stuck. That isn't like a hunter. And then, like, Halo 3 onward, it's like... It's funny because they always kind of... They actually get stronger on the ground, technically, in terms of player damage. Like, in Halo 1, a plasma grenade on the ground will never instantly kill Master Chief. But in future games, they will. But even though that's the case... It's not the case for enemies, because enemies just get tougher and tougher, and plasma grenades do less and less damage to them. Like, Halo 2 especially, like, if a grenade's on the ground, it does, like, no damage to an elite, for example. But then, like, Halo 3 onward, it's like, plasma grenades on the ground just, like, even, like, Halo Reach, it's like, grenades will just insta-kill a player Spartan from, like, they're barely even close to it. But then, like, you throw a grenade on the ground and like, throw it next to an elite, and he's just, like, he just looks at you like you tickled him. I always thought that was so weird. Like, even if you stick, like, in Reach, like, even if you stick them, they just don't die anymore, and it's so weird. I always thought it was funny that people complain about brutes being spongy, but it's like, it gets so much worse in later games. Like, in Halo Reach, you can, you get a Spartan laser in one of the last levels, and on Legendary, like, it takes, like, 3 shots to kill an elite. It's kind of, like, absurd to kill, like, one of the higher up elites. Nope, not doing that. Whoop. Alright, I'm gonna have QP with this guy. Wait for my shields to recharge. Take that. Get a nice knee shot so he bends down and has to get back up, which I love that little animation. Once again, just like, I don't know why the animations in future games, it's like, they just do like one thing every time. I love that guy's trying to like duck, but he's just like ducking into a box. And the other grunt's just like, doesn't even know what's happening. God. Like, everything about this game, like, you can really tell they just put all their effort into this campaign. Oh, no! The legendary moment when you throw a grenade on the ground and it sticks... If you can't stick guns, so if you throw a grenade and you hit their plasma rifle, it'll actually bounce off. Which is kind of funny. It's one of those things that's like, it's kind of annoying, and I can see why they changed it, but at the same time, it's like, it actually makes a lot of sense, because obviously, if you throw a grenade against a wall, like, it doesn't stick to the wall. Like, it sticks there, but that's because, like, it lands and, like, just settles. But, like, you can throw a grenade against the wall, and it's not gonna stick to the wall. Okay, you can stop pew-pewing. Dodge that. Oh. I made him dodge himself. Great. Good old grenade launching, eh? That's classic. You know, it's funny. That's one of those things that's always been consistent. No matter how much grenades have changed over the years, you can always launch them with other grenades. Like, it was actually... I forget what it was. I think there was a... No. I guess I'm thinking of top 10 Halo 3 and stuff. Anage, all that stuff, like the days of the top 10s for like Halo and stuff. I remember he made like a bunch of videos dedicated just to grenade launching. I remember it was Yellow Snowball. That's a gamer tag on Xbox Live. That guy has a ton of clips of him just doing like these crazy grenade launches, and not in campaign, in multiplayer. So he just like gets to like he'll like do all these crazy jumps to get to like areas that are like pretty much out of bounds on the map. And then he'll just toss 2 grenades on the ground, blast it away, and he gets kills! It's like, what the hell, man? How many tries did it take for you to do that crap, you know? Anyways, my health is kind of low. I don't really have a lot of grenades. So this is kind of a funny thing. So there's a Wraith over there, and if you know what you're doing, you can actually super cheeses, because, like I mentioned before, because plasma pistols actually have, like, insane range, and Wraiths are special in that, unlike other vehicles, because players are never meant to operate them. They actually do, in fact, take damage when nobody's in them. So, if you pick up a couple plasma pistols, you can actually just sit here and spray at this Wraith for like a couple minutes, and it'll blow up. And it actually makes this next part way easier. And it doesn't take as many shots as you might think it does. Like, it takes like about like I'm not even sure if it takes a whole plasma pistol. I don't think it does. I think it takes like half. But that's like super cheese, and that's more if like you're having trouble with this part, so I won't do it. It's just something funny to consider. It actually kind of messes with stuff, because there's music that's gonna play here, and like if you kill the Wraith before the elite even gets in, it actually like kind of glitches the music, and the music will just kind of like cut out like really badly without any sort of
Wait, we should commandeer one of those
transition like normal.
We'll need it to reach the pulse in time.
Oh, I'm hiccuping. Anyways, let's just pew these grunts away. This part's actually pretty tricky. This level has a ton of zealots in it, like, and not like sword zealots either. Like a lot of like plasma rifle zealots. I think it has the most of any level in the game. There's like, especially near the end of the level, there's a ton of them. But like, there's one right here, and I think I've already mentioned before that for some reason, well, that's not really specific to zealots. It's specific to all enemies, actually. I think I've mentioned. So, well, every enemy except for elites. So zealots are kind of abnormal for elites like this. But yeah, like a grunt with a needler has more health than one with a plasma pistol, because I guess they're treated as like higher ranks. Which I'm gonna bring up right now that I'm on the topic. I always thought it was so weird. Like, if you don't know, like, there's like actors and then there's actor variants in this game, and basically like each enemy with their own weapon has their own like characteristics for firing that weapon, and it changes based on the rank and like what enemy it is, because Bungie sets that all up manually. But in future Halo games they use like more of a parent system, so that like elite mages are just minors, but they inherit like all the characteristics of minors, and then they just have a couple extra things. But they get really lazy about it, because the only real difference between a major and a minor in future Halo games is just that majors have a little bit more health. Whereas in this game, like majors are like almost like fire their weapons like quite a bit differently, because majors generally fire their weapons slower, but with more accuracy. And if they have a needler, they'll actually fire at full auto, which minors won't do. They'll just kind of fire in small bursts, the minors will do. Oof. Anyways, it's a good idea to hang out over here, because the Wraith otherwise will be pot-shotting you a lot, and it's like, if you're not careful, he just gets blasted you. Alright, let's see if I can get... This part's really tricky though, because I can see like they have like tons of good cover, and all you really have is box in the middle archway. But they do give you rockets, and this is a good time to use them, because there's like 4 elites here, and it can be really tricky. Actually, what's a good idea I find is, because like I've mentioned this before, because enemies in this game are kind of reaction based, so what you want to do is kind of walk over here, shoot this grunt, and if you kind of mess around a bit, all the elites come over here. And now what I can do is I can kind of walk back down here. Oh, well, some of them went and some of them didn't, which is kind of unfortunate. But that's still better than nothing. So now that 2 of those elites over here, I can kind of... Oh. Are they coming back? Dickheads. Dickheads. That's what they are. Anyways. Zell will berserk as soon as he gets, like, a good sight line of you, and he'll just rush you. So he's grade A for killing with the shotgun. But yeah, you can see like the shotgun guy's going crazy, or Wraith guy's going crazy. Woof. Sorry, flaring grenade. The elite is definitely there. Where is he? There he is. Jeez, man, that guy was freaking, like, he wasn't having any of my crap. He was just finding, like, the perfect spots to avoid all my stuff. I've never wasted this much ammo in this section, but I'm trying to play it kind of safe for once, because usually I'm, like, really aggressive, but I'm trying to play more in, like, a manner similar that I don't want to die. Anyways, let's blast this guy. Oops, that guy's shooting me. There we go. Takes care of that. Whoa, jeez. Yeah, Wraiths have a pretty good idea where you are most of the time. So, like, even though, like, he doesn't see me, like, he heard where I was shooting from, so he's trying to blast that spot. Thankfully, they're not super accurate. They more kind of focus on just spraying a large area. So, yeah, you can usually get by. And as soon as you kill the Wraith, music fades out. That's what I love about this game. This happens so much in this game that, like, music is tied to the enemies directly. So, like, sometimes music will start only when enemies see you, and that happens surprisingly, like, a lot, actually. You'd be surprised. Whereas in future games, it really doesn't do that much. It sometimes does, but, like, to be honest, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Anyways, I'm gonna go back and get some more ammo and stuff. I think I'm good with this setup. Honestly, shotgun rockets is actually pretty alright. It kind of sucks for like you don't have as good range. Actually, sniper rifle's interesting. It's kind of interesting because they give you like not that much sniper ammo, but like 8 shots is pretty useful at this stage. It actually would have been really helpful for dealing with the elites, but I didn't use it. I didn't feel like it, I guess. There's actually quite a lot of spare snipers at the level, although as we'll see later, it's not as helpful as you might think. I always thought this was funny too. They have this door here, and that's because it's possible to end up like down here without a banshee if you try really hard. So they give you a way to get up here, because even though that door is locked, you do need to go through it later. Anyways, Oh, no, 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 no! Whoa, ho, ho. Freaking grunts. I can't believe that almost got me. Okay, can I stop getting stuck on literally everything? I'm gonna die because, like, this grunt's just gonna throw a grenade while I'm stuck in the floor again. Usually I just zoom my Banshee through here and I'm just in this room instantly. God damn. Oh, well, I'm not being as aggressive, like I said, because I want to look at least somewhat professional. That's the target generator. Just walk into it. That's like what everyone always does. It's like, as soon as you play this level more than once, it's like, there's the target generator, and it blows up. Because, like, a bunch of sentinels spawn, and it's like you got no shields, so they can be kind of deadly, but it's like, if you just rush through, who cares? I mean, those sentinels, who cares, man? And it's not like, you know, oh, I'm killing sentinels, I'm making a difference. I mean, they just make more, right? They're just machines. Anyways, as soon as nav point shows up, we get our first sight. That's a new type of enemy too. We didn't really get a good chance to see them because I just blew them up, but those were fuel rod grunts. And fuel rod in this game is quite a bit different than in future Halo games, because unlike in future Halo games where the fuel rod is a busted piece of crap, in this game it's actually a lot more balanced. They just kind of like they have to charge it up to slowly fire like a shot. What am I doing? I just fired that shot like it was no big deal. This is like the room I always play smartly, and then I just kind of walk in here guns blazing, huh? Funny how that works, huh? So this room's kind of interesting. So basically, you have a kind of like a middle section here, and all the enemies are kind of just hanging out unaware. And like I've said many times in the past in Showcase, enemies don't specifically they won't like if you throw a grenade, they won't know you are. So a good way to deal with this room has always been to just kind of slowly thin them out by throwing grenades. And every time you throw a grenade, it kind of makes them move around a bit because they're like, oh shit, what just happened? It's especially a good idea if you can get like the elites. Of course, if you don't have a lot of ammo, it can be a little tricky. But chain reactions deal with that pretty easily. Hey, you wanna walk over here, huh? Boom! Ba-boom! Kazoo! I think he saw me. Luckily, I can just kinda... God damn, look how great the shotgun is. Like, I'm blasting the elite and the jackal behind them's recoiling from the damage he just took. Like, God. Man, like... I can't iterate this much how great the shotgun in this game is. Anyways, I really recommend you take these jackals out now, because if you're not careful, they'll... Like, if you kill the ones in front, the ones in the back tend to kind of run back. But you don't want that, because when you walk over here, like, as soon as you make some progress, enemies kind of zoom out. And if the jackals are still alive, they'll just immediately alert everyone. So what you want to do is kind of keep them all dead, and then you kind of just pot shot some grenades over, and it'll make the elites kind of be like, oh shit. And if you're lucky, you can kind of... I wasn't lucky, unfortunately, but if you are lucky, you can actually get some elites quickly. Fortunately, I didn't, but I mean, that kind of thing takes a little bit of... Honestly, it just takes a little bit of luck, because elites can just decide to not care. Like that. You can see how smart elites are. Like, as soon as I try to approach him, he backs off instantly. Like, it's those little things. Like, elites are really smart about cover in this game. Anyways, you notice there's been an absence of flood, but as soon as the music starts playing, bam, there's the flood. And this is when this level really starts to shine, because you get these really cool AI battles where they just kind of start duking it out between each other. And you'd be surprised how much it varies. Like, it's not like, you can see, like, in this attempt, like, the flood just got decimated by the elites. But it's actually very, like, quite surprising how often see like quite a few differences between these battles. Like a lot of the times you'll see the Flood, they'll rush really fast and they just start smacking elites. And once they start getting melee, like elites have a hard time dealing with melee attacks from the Flood. Oh! Jesus. Oof. Oh shit, there's the Zealot. I always thought it was weird, like, in this game, Jackals are very defensive, but sometimes they can be really offensive. But, like, in future games, Jackals are really weird, I always thought, because, like, they're a lot more, like, speed-focused in the way they move around. It's really weird. Halo 2 is kind of a mix, because they still do, like, a lot of defensive stuff, but, like, Halo 3 onward, it's like, it feels like all they ever do is just kind of, like, stand still, and then they'll just kind of dash from spot to spot. Like, it kind of makes sense, and it's cool, but I really liked how defense focused they were in this game. Like they always like move fairly slowly around. Throw a couple grenades. Wow. That grenade bounced in like dozens of ways I did not expect it to. You can also use the Flood to your advantage, because like in a lot of these areas it's like once you kill like a certain amount of enemies, the Flood kind of attack from behind, and from there it's usually a good idea to just kind of let them like fight the stronger side, so it kind of like saves you ammo and time and safety. Ugh. Although this one, like, they come in pretty late. Like, you pretty much have to kill everything before they come. But it's still, like, a distraction, even. Like, even if they're just, like, chilling out, it's like, they're still gonna be like, oh shit, there's a grunt. They'll target the grunt a lot of the time instead of you. Because this is one of the few games where they don't, well, I shouldn't say that. It's Halo Reach when AI started becoming extremely player-focused to, like, to the point where it's like they just ignore everything else if there's a player. I always thought that was weird. I won't go into too much detail about that because it's kind of one of those weird things. And it's kind of interesting. It's actually in Halo 3 too, but it's only really in Halo 3 for like vehicle sections, specifically Banshees. In Halo 3 do this a lot, where they'll just only target the player. Anyways, yeah, you notice there was another Zealot with a plasma rifle in that room. I didn't really talk about it because I mean it's just a Zealot, but it's like. Kaboosh! Nice shot, baby. I don't think that actually did any damage to this guy. Ooh! Imagine if he didn't flinch from that. If he hadn't lost his shields, he would have just whacked me mid-air from an explosion. That would have been pretty badass, actually, but goddamn. Still scary. If you can, it's actually not a bad idea to not kill these enemies because you have to cross the other side of the bridge. And obviously, any enemies you leave alive will still be here when you come back around. So they'll kind of help you with distractions. Although it's pretty hard because, like, unless you're, like, running by and taking tons of damage, it's like... It tends to be pretty player-focused. Well, that's not true, but it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, right now, for example, I'm just getting, like, shredded. Oh my god, I just realized I have 1 bar of health left. And no ammo left. That's not good. Let's maybe grab some ammo? Like, not really anything to grab! I tried to rush through, but unfortunately, like I said, like, it's pretty hard to actually, like, avoid the enemies like that. Oh well, not too big a deal. Thankfully, with Flood, they tend to do a lot. Like, throughout most of the game, you kind of get used to the fact that enemies tend to not do a lot of damage to your health. But this part of the game, it's kind of the opposite, where Your shields actually are pretty resilient to like human weaponry for the most part, although even then that's not really consistent. Kaboosh! This is one of those fun details, the fact that infection forms don't actually alert the big flood forms, thankfully, so you can kind of just walk over here and they won't care, which is nice. I'm telling you, man, grenade stealth, great. Even Flood you can do it with. You can't traditionally do stealth with Flood because you can't assassinate them, but you can still do it with grenades, which is kind of a cool detail, I guess. Oh my good lord! I was just saying they don't use a lot of weapon to your health, or your shields, but then I find a ton of them with plasma rifles that are about to mess me up. Ah! Holy crap! I didn't see that one coming. Okay, so there were dudes up in that room up there, and I didn't expect them to just run down and like point blank shotgun me from behind like that. Holy cow, that scared me. Flood are just so indifferent too. That's what I find funny about them. You throw a plasma at that dude's feet, he just looks at it and doesn't give a, like he couldn't give two shits. Oof. Alright, maybe this time let's try to get one of these guys up. Oh, well, do that too. They're a lot closer this time, so it's easier to just kind of do that. Which is nice. I wonder... I should be able to see them from the walkway, right? Oh, oh! There's some over there. There's a frag grenade here too. Oh shit, they're actually trying to approach me. There's elites! Actually, that's good, because they'll trigger all the enemies and they'll come running towards the elites. So I'm just gonna walk over here. Don't mind me. Major elites are pretty good at dealing with floods, so I'll just toss a grenade in there. Although, as you can see, once the flood get close quarters, the elites tend to suffer a bit. Thankfully, but yeah, it's a good thing they alerted them and not me, because now I can kind of just not care as much. Alright, just pop on me, please, so I can get my shields back. Thank you very much. Not good. No! Oh god, there's a guy with a pistol. Pistol flood are probably the worst, because pistols are really strong against players. Like, it does good damage to your shields and to your health, so you have to be really careful about that. That's a lot of pistol ammo, though. Thankfully, that's what's great about pistol flood, even though they're one of the, like, tougher flood to deal with, because pistols just generally do a lot of damage to players. But they also have a ton of health, or, like, ammo on them. They can say, like, one pistol gave me, like, half the ammo to max. I don't think there's any enemies up here now, but I'm a little scared. I could have sworn there was something up here. Unfortunately, it does not look like there is. I thought there was a med pack around here. I could really use one. God damn. I guess that's not too big a deal. Okay, I want to be careful here, because I know for a fact... Yeah, there's the guy. The rocket flood kind of comes running down. Thankfully, I got really lucky, and it looked like he was already damaged, so... And once you kill him, he doesn't pick up his gun when he gets back up, so... We get a nice safety checkpoint. The thing is, if you kill those elites really fast, the rocket dude doesn't get triggered, so you'll get a checkpoint here, walk around this corner, and the rocket dude will literally be point blank in your face, and you'll just die, like 9 times out of 10. Because it doesn't really matter where he shoots, you just die. Like, he could shoot, like, the ground behind him, and you're probably still dead. Anyways, it's, You know, this is a nice little thing about the flood in this game. You can actually melee the infection forms. Kind of, one of those things that changed throughout the series that makes it easier for multiplayer, but not so for campaign. Meleeing. Halo 2 onward, when you melee, you have like this lunge thing. You'll kind of lunge towards enemies, and it makes it easier for, for multiplayer. Because if you have bad connection, the lunge will kind of handle a lot of that for you. But like in campaign, it's a whole another story because in order to compensate for that melee lunge, they actually shorten the range of your melee attack by a lot. And you don't lunge towards certain stuff in campaign. So like infection forms are basically impossible to melee in future Halo games. I saw something on my dot. What was that? What the? Oh, they're in the vents. Jeez. I actually forgot they're in there. Hey dude, stop. But yeah, in this game you don't lunge. You just have a fairly long melee range, which makes it... It's one of those things that's like, I would have preferred that you have the lock-on for multiplayer and just normal for single player, but Bungie really likes keeping it consistent between single player and multiplayer. Like, all the weapons do, like, pretty much the same things no matter where you are. Like, there's very rarely any, like, big differences, like, that, like, radically, like, change the way you're playing. Because they want you to be able to, like, play campaign and then just kind of jump into multiplayer and it's pretty much the same thing, right? There are some minor differences. Like, I remember a big thing with Halo 3, well, maybe not a big thing, but at least a thing with Halo 3 is that beam rifles use 10 ammo in multiplayer per shot, so you have 10 shots, but in single player they only use 5 energy thing per shot, so you have like twice as many shots in campaign, which is not really a big thing, but it's just something I've always, like, when I first noticed that, I was like, wow, how did I never notice this for so long? Because it feels like it's a big thing. But it's like, really, it's like... It's mainly just there to compensate for the fact that you rarely get full ammo beam rifles in campaign. Okay, can you stop? Stop scurrying about. Like, look at these guys. Like, they keep walking out, looking at me, and then just running away. I'm ready for you. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm trying to be careful here because as soon as I walk over here, whoosh, top of the room explodes over there and a bunch of foot kind of zoom out from over there. You have to be careful about that. Oh shit. Oh shit! That could have messed me up if this was any other Halo game. Thankfully, in this game, the melee attacks are actually reasonable. Imagine not dying instantly to a single melee attack on a higher difficulty. Like, oh my god. Like, Halo Reach is so bad for that. Like, elites will... especially, like, elites with needle rifles, like, it's the most infuriating thing in the world because their melee range is gigantic and almost instantaneous. So it's like, on higher difficulties, it just becomes, like, it's just not worth ever getting close to any enemies because they just insta-kill you with their melee attacks. And it's such a shame, I think, because it's like, the whole, like, kind of like one of the greatest things about Halo, and even Bungie themselves talk about this, how, like, Halo has this whole triangle thing going where it's like you've got guns, melee, and grenades, and like, you always are in a situation where as long as you have the ammo, you can use one of those 3 options. And they're all supposed to be, like, useful in their own situations, but as soon as you get into, like, higher difficulties in later games, it just becomes feasible to use these options. Like, just, like, for example, especially in Reach, enemies have so much health that doing anything with guns that isn't, like, headshotting them is just, like, pointless. Like, you can't melee them because you'll just die from any elite no matter where, like, if you get even close to them. Grenades don't do that much damage because grenades just don't do damage to enemies. And then even with weapons, it's like, use an assault rifle in Legendary, and it's like, as I surprisingly found out, it's actually not that bad, but it's just like, it's kind of one of those things that's like, DMRing is just so much better. There's just no reason not to ever do anything other than just noob combo DMR. And that's kind of another one of those things. It's like, God, I hate how the Plasma Crystal just became the overcharge, and that's it. Like, why? I don't even understand why they even bother like, it's so dumb to me. Like, they even made another gun. 343 made another gun like that, the Bolt Shot, where it's like, the normal fire is so weak and worthless. It's like, why would you ever use it? Just use the shotgun part. And it's like, I kind of understand what they're doing, but it's like, what you're doing is making a gun with 2 types of firing, and then making one of the modes of fire completely worthless. Anyways, this is a fun part. So you kind of walk around here, and if you wait long enough, a bunch of flood will come out and... Oh god! Whoa! Jeez. Banshees can be pretty aggressive, huh? Oh, jeez. So I'm trying to be careful here, because remember when I was talking about rocket flood? Well, they come back, and they come back in pretty big force. There's actually like 3 or 4 floods of rocket launches on this bridge. I don't remember the number. I think it's higher based on the difficulty, I believe. I think like on Legendary, there's probably like 4 of them. And I always remember, because if you kind of hang out, once you get close enough, like, yeah, you can see like they'll just start firing off rockets into the air trying to get the Banshees. If you're lucky, the Banshees will just get really aggressive and Banshee bomb them. But a lot of the times, this is what I mean, like in Halo 1 even, Banshees are weirdly player focused. They're the only thing in the game that's like that. So if you're out of cover, pretty much no matter what's happened, the Banshees will try to shoot you. Till, even though like you can see like they're really clearly like taking some damage from other enemies, but they don't really care about that. So what I would recommend is trying to get them to bait, like kind of like walk in and out of cover to kind of like make them go on the offensive, and then hopefully you'll get lucky and try to shoot one of the enemies. But otherwise, if you're having trouble, it might be a good idea to shoot down one of the Banshees. I really do recommend trying to keep one of these guys alive, because otherwise the rocket flood will just run towards you and just like blow up the whole bridge. So I'm actually going to take my advice and start pistoling this guy. In particular, shotguns really good against Banshees. Like you can almost like one-shot a Banshee if you get like a good close quarters shotgun. Wow, that guy is like under the bridge. He's just going crazy. Look at him. Anyways, there you go. Now I can kind of idle around here, and hopefully this guy won't kill me. They'll still try to shoot you through the bridge, like the glass, which is kind of annoying. Sometimes it just feels like you can't really do anything to avoid getting shot. Please don't be a guy with a rocket launcher. Okay. I don't know if the rocket guys are dead. This is what I mean. Like sometimes it's like I don't know if like the rocket guys like blasted the wall and killed themselves, or they're just still there, waiting for me to show my fat face. And with rocket flood, it's like you can't really afford to take a risk because you just die. That looks like them actually. Oh, he's shooting them. Yeah, help me out there, Banshee. Yeah, there's still rocket flood, that's for sure. And that's why you definitely want to keep these guys alive. Just kind of something you kind of figure out after playing this game for a while. It's always a good idea to have, like, pretty much this is just a rule of thumb for the rest of the game. If there's 2 factions, or like 2 or more factions fighting out, you basically want to keep them all fighting as long as possible, because the more they're fighting each other, the less they're fighting you, and the less you have to shoot them. So it's like, if like there's a bunch of like Covenant and only a couple Flood or Sentinels, usually it's a good idea to shoot the Covenant. Lord. Where is this guy? Alright. Where'd the Banshee go? What the hell? Whoa, he went way down there. Like, these guys have kind of like a defined area where they generally try to fly in. I've never seen them go quite that low before, actually. That's surprising. You'd be surprised. Sometimes Banshees can get pretty crazy in this game. Even, like, they're so crazy. Even they do things they're not even supposed to do. Sometimes they'll just get, like, I have actually a clip on Xbox where I was playing co-op with a friend, and like when we were playing like the second level, one of the Banshees just went super crazy and just like it was like ramming the ground trying to splatter him. Like it was really surprising. I've never seen that before. Alright. I don't think there's any guys now, so I think I'll take out this guy. Pistol's pretty good at taking out banshees, thankfully, so. Alright, no guys, no guys. I'm running low on ammo, though. This is also one of those areas, like I mentioned, if there's enemies still over there, they help a lot because it distracts the rocket blood, but I'm kind of running low on ammo, so I think... oh, this is a hard thing. Oh! I was here for so long, the music didn't properly, like, finish. Normally, this is, like, the only time in the game when, like, like, Pale Horse doesn't loop. Or, like, doesn't loop normally. Like, it actually, like, properly loops, I guess is the best way to put it. Instead of just playing through once and then ending. But all music in this game kind of has a thing where I think it's only set to play for a certain amount of time. Usually they just set it up to play for a really long time, but, you know, if you actually do hang around for long enough, eventually it really does just stop playing. Yeah, so I guess I'll just run forward. Actually, I'm going to go back for my shotgun now. Anything else here? Like nothing? God. Boom! Hello. Here's something I always remember too. A little cute, I don't know if you call it cute, but a little funny moment. Look at these dudes. Once again, these guys are marked as asleep. So basically, until you actually like shoot, they do not react at all. It's like one of the rare times you get to see these guys just standing still. Like, look how like grossly like detailed. Like, look at all those tiny little tentacles. That's what they walk around on. They got these big 3 feelers at the front. You got the little like almost like kind of like tentacle. I don't even know what you call it. Like the thing hanging off the back of their like main body. It's got like little like shedding things on it, like almost like I don't know what you call it. If you melee like the right one, they'll all pop in one hit, which is something I always try to do, but sometimes it's hard to do. This is another one of those rooms, by the way, where as soon as you kind of walk over here, kaboosh! Boom! And you can see what I'm talking about. Like, I honestly couldn't tell for a sec there if there was. How am I getting so many heart attacks? I see what I mean? Like, I was seeing all those red dots, and I'm like, oh, it's just infection forms. And it still managed to scare the shit out of me. I did not expect that at all. Ugh. Because all the flood make the same sounds, like, and I'm seeing all these dots, I'm just like, oh, it's just infection forms. And then I get the shit scared out of me. Holy crap. Good lord. Okay, pop. Alright, so I'm gonna get the rocket out. Oof. Hey, shotgun ammo! Hell yeah. There we go. We need this little elevator ride. Remember these? Man. I guess I'll bring this up now. I always found it funny how many people complained about getting lost in this game. By the way, funny little moment. As soon as you go down, like, all these dudes just kind of pop up. Jump down. And I guess I shouldn't have shot those, because I actually wanted to show something funny. That's, well, kind of funny. You kind of like do some good dodging because all the flood don't drop down right away, and then kind of run into this door and just run over here really fast. That door over here closes, and then like I'll fire a shot off, and then you can see like all the little flood forms just start running towards the door and getting stuck on it. And you can see like all their tentacles are just kind of clipped through the door a little bit. I always thought it was really funny. It's like they're just like they cannot get through this door. They're just like, let me in, let me in. Remember that meme? That meme's pretty hot all of a sudden. You can get surprisingly close to this door without opening it too. Like, look how close I am. I can actually melee the door before it opens up. Which is funny. Anyways, yeah, creepy music's playing here, and that's because there's a bunch of moments when like you walk forward and then all of a sudden, kaboosh, some human plays. So this is kind of like one of those details that probably flies over a lot of people's heads. And it's maybe not immediately obvious what this is, but what this is actually supposed to be is, remember when you first play through this level and like you get through the end of like the big outdoor section and like the Marines hang back and don't come with you. These Marine Flood here are actually supposed to be like those Marines. Like they hung around long enough and eventually they just got infected by Flood. Or at least that's what it's intended to be. I'm not actually sure if it was like the final idea, given that these guys don't have guns, but it's like it's a cool thing to find out after the fact, I think, at least. Because you can recognize this is the very first room we came back in with all like, you know, like the 30 or so grunts in there. Always thought that was cool. I never knew that for the longest time either, because you don't really think about it, right? It's just like, it's just a room, creepy room filled with some weaponless human Flood.
Okay, let's take care of the next pulse generator.
Anyways, first thing I'm gonna do is immediately go for the ghost, because this area is like kind of a difficulty spike throughout this level. Because like you walk over here, there's a dude and a ghost just kind of hanging out. I'm gonna do that to get rid of him right off the bat. Oh shit! I'm gonna shoot the shit out of this ghost or the banshee. Funny thing is with ghosts is that it can be kind of tricky to shoot banshees down with ghosts, but ghosts actually stand a better chance because banshees in this game are pretty fragile for the most part. Like I'm pretty sure that banshees have less health than ghosts in this game because they're intended to be kind of like, you know, a light armored like aerial vehicle. Anyways, we're gonna go down here because remember when we came down here earlier in Assault on the Control Room and it was just like some elites came to mess us up? Well, when you come back here in 2 Betrayals, hey, there's some actual like ammo and stuff, including a very, very nice like supply of rockets and like a whole thing out of like shotgun. Like, goddamn, that's great. Probably a waste that I picked up that second magazine or whatever it's called, but I don't like to backtrack that much. At least during like a recording like this. If I was playing like by myself, oh hell yeah, I'll backtrack for like hours if it means getting some more ammo. Anyways, this part is kind of tricky. What you're intended to do is kind of just drive past these guys, but if you're tenacious, you can just sit here and shoot them. And because the ghost is pretty nicely maneuverable, it's actually surprisingly easy to do this. Because the grunts make it really easy to kill them because they just kind of slowly get in these turrets. You kind of slowly take them all out. And the raid tends to have a hard time shooting you because like when you're moving around, it's like obviously he's not going to be able to hit you very well. And there's no elites here, so you don't have to worry about like super accurate plasma rifle shots either. Like the Jackal's... Oh, actually there is an elite, but he doesn't really shoot all that much. Although the rate does fire pretty fast, so you have to be careful about that. Like, you'd be surprised how easy it is to kind of get caught up in yourself and like trying to like anticipate what the rate's shooting, and then he'll shoot you and you just like don't expect where he's going to shoot. So like you won't be able to dodge it very well. And by the way, if you can't hear me doing this, I'm like clicking super fast, and that's because in this game like you lose accuracy really fast when you're holding down the trigger or like whatever you want to call it. But if you just like press the trigger like rapidly, you actually keep a lot of your accuracy. It's kind of like I don't know if I call it a glitch, but it's like a trick basically that like makes it really easy to shoot accurately. Anyways, now that that guy's dead, I'm just gonna run over here. Just go town on his ass. That actually makes a lot of sense why he wasn't accurately shooting me, because it wasn't a major. It's kind of hard to tell in this level because it's dark and snowy, so like everything kind of looks blue. Anyways. Stop shooting me, you jerk. Alright, let's go get the other ghost. Kaboosh! I always love doing like you get out and you kind of bounce if you're going fast enough, so you can like do that and fly into another vehicle and get into it right away. One of those cool little things. Although I didn't do it very well, but I mean, what are you gonna do? I think it's actually possible to kind of like slide along that cliff edge with the ghost, but there's no reason to. There's nothing up there, so I'm not gonna bother. Funny thing is, you're intended to get out of your vehicle here, but ghosts you can just kind of go through. Also, this is a funny little moment. I always thought, like, maybe not, like, you might not realize this, but it's like you walk over here and then there's all this ammo here. But like, let's listen for a sec. Let me just hang out here. Be like, oh, let's get in this warthog. Oh shit! Like, the grunts are out of range of shooting you, but they can still throw grenades. So they will, in fact, throw grenades if you idle on for too long. And funny enough, you can see, like, they'll even, like, freak out from them throwing grenades at each other and then just, like... Oh no! Ah! Piece of shit! Alright. I like using that warthog because you can set up the turret and like blast, but obviously these guys are not cooperating, so I'm gonna have to deal with them. Yeah, have fun throwing grenades at a moving target, jerk. Nice thing about vehicles in this game, as long as you're in a vehicle, you don't really take fall damage. Like, you do die eventually, but you can fall quite a bit farther than normal. Which is good. As long as you don't flip. If you flip when you land, you pretty much just die. You have to be careful about that. And I always think it's a good idea to bring this warthog because you kind of get over here and then you get faced with the same split path conundrum from when you originally played the level. But there is a banshee in the air somewhere. Oh, you can see him over there. And you can actually shoot from pretty far away with this warthog turret. So it's a good idea to kind of like wait for like, once he gets close enough, like he'll start just like flying straight towards you, and that's when you can just kind of light it up. Although it can be kind of hard to goad his interest. So it can also be a good idea to just kind of like tap the trigger towards this elite here, and it actually does really good damage, like you can see, like. And because you're far enough away, the elites kind of don't care as much. So I just killed that elite. Oh! No! Don't... Shit! Okay. Thankfully, the way Warthog's in this game is kind of weird. So like you can see, like even though his shot was closer to flip me, because I'm in the turret, there's like a certain like proximity of like, I'm not entirely sure how it works actually, to be honest. It's one of those things I've never been sure about, and I'm sure a lot of people probably aren't either. So yeah, pretty cool. There's like hunters here. It's like the first time you've seen hunters in quite a while. This is a good idea. You can kind of just drive around and splatter them. Oh, nice dodge. Completely by accident, but still cool. And yeah, there's another banshee over here. Kaboosh! Take that! There's also a wraith over here which you want to be careful about. But I'm just gonna go over to this tree and just go full down on him. Is he gonna react? Okay, I knew like I was gonna be able to shoot him pretty easy here because the tree blocks me, but holy crap. Did he just like almost let me kill him and he just now drove away? What the heck happened there? Did he have like a stroke? Alright, well whatever. I'm gonna actually jump up here. I believe it's a little tricky to do this, but I believe... Oh, actually what you want to do is bring the warthog. Actually, no. I think what you want to do is you want to bring the ghost here and you can jump off the ghost up this thing inside there. I'm gonna see if you can do it with the warthog. I don't think you can because I believe if you get out of the warthog it just slides down. Oh, actually it does stay pretty well. That's cool. Alright, perfect. There you go. Cool little spot here with just like a stealth lean and a flood. Once again, kind of tells a story, which I think is really cool. Alright, where's that guy? Oh shit. That's not good. That's not good at all. I was hoping I'd kill the wraith, but instead all I've done is make him mad. Now he's just gonna fire at that door for like an hour. Alright, let's go back to the spot. Generally you want to use vehicles whenever possible, but I really don't feel like backtracking for like 10 minutes to get my ghost. So I'm just gonna try to... Yeah, the elites, thankfully, like, because I was shooting from there, he's like, oh shit. So I can just shoot this other one without I caring away. And get over to this banshee and fly away. And this sweet music starts playing. I love this song. Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go over here and try to kill the wraith. Because this wraith will shoot, like, you can fly up here to this area I've been before, but, like, even from down here, the wraith will shoot you for, like, surprisingly far away. Like, they'll, like, nail you. Okay. Good. Oof. That was a risky move what I just did, because, like, if you shoot, like, you'd be surprised how, like, easy it is to make grenades accidentally blow up on you. And then you just look like a jackass because you just, like, killed yourself, basically. Because Banshees are fragile. A chain reaction pretty much is always just, like, instant death. Nice! I just killed that guy. Really by accident. Ugh, yeah. Rule of thumb with Banshees, when you don't really use Banshees outside this level, but like it's just good to keep in mind, you always want to be turning around, because otherwise you're just giving enemies easy shots on you. Always be doing curves and shit, because otherwise you just get blasted. And yeah, be very, very careful with the Fjord Grunts. You might not think it, but they are surprisingly good at like leaving their shots on you, so if you're not careful, you just get blasted, and there's not really much you can do. Oh shit, that was close. That guy went to town. You don't see Fjord Grunts too much outside the last couple levels, like there's only a couple in this level. But yeah, it's definitely worth like keeping in mind to just be careful. Ugh! See what I mean about the rocket flood? Like, even as he died, like he blasted the wall. If he'd been aiming anywhere else, I would pretty much just died. Okay, let's run away. Let's run away. Let's run away, reload my shotgun, and blast him. Hey! You can't sneak up on me. Oh shit. Maybe you can. Oh, it's another rocket flood! I didn't know there was a second one. Dear God. Like, what a bunch of dicks, Bungie are. Like, look at this tiny little room, and they're just like, let's put rocket flood in here. That seems like a fun idea. On the bright side, at least, it's some ammo. Yeah, I'm gonna get these flood to come towards me. Where are they? Oh, that was a bad hiccup. Oof. I think they're actually on the other side of the wall. Yeah, that's where they are, isn't it? Yep. So, yeah, I'm being very cautious here. This is probably the hardest room in the level. Well, I would say it's not necessarily like... what's the best way to put it? I think per difficulty, this is the hardest part. But it's also really fast to retry, so it's not that bad. Because, like, you die and then you pretty much just right back here with it. You don't have to do a bunch. There's, like, near the end of the level, there's a huge, like, battle that's, like, pretty long, and you don't really get any checkpoints during it. But the reason you don't get any is because they never really intended for you to fight it normally. Alright, so... I think once we kill these flood, we should get a checkpoint. Checkpoint? Oh, there's more flood. Hello? What are you doing? Stop. I don't know if you're stopping my checkpoint or if I just never got one or if I just didn't notice that I got one. Could be anything, really. Wow, that popped the window? Damn. No checkpoint? Fuck. Alright, so here's the strat for this room. Walk over to this thing. You want to pretty much walk away as soon as you take the damage. And then just immediately you want to run in here.
The pulse generator overloaded. One more to
Throw
go.
some frags. Make sure they don't, like, come too many guys come towards you. Because here's what sucks about this. Like, you want to immediately switch sides because there's a ton of flood coming out from, like, the door and stuff. And they have rockets. And they will not hesitate to completely destroy you. There's not really much you can do about it. Like, look at this mess! What am I supposed to do? And the one guy has a rocket, so, like, what do you think happens if I, like... Oh my god. That is, like, the worst checkpoint it could have ever been. Usually you get the checkpoint and, like, you've killed all these guys, but I got it at, like, the start of the room. Which is pretty much the worst checkpoint. And I'm stuck in a fucking corner. Because damn dudes just never leave me alone. Ugh. Just kill me. I'm not even gonna bother. This part of the level just sucks so much. This is the one part of the level I think is honestly just horrible. Because they just shove like 20 rocket flood at you for no particular reason. And like you have no shields too. So like if you even so much as look at them funny, you're just dead. They could blast the other side of the room, you're dead. There's just not much you can do. And I've gotten pretty much the worst checkpoint that's possible to get in this level. I don't think I've ever gotten a checkpoint that early. So I have to basically do this entire room like every time. Normally it's like really fast to retry. That's like why it's not so bad. But now it's like the worst possible case. Would you just... God! How many times have I shotgun this guy? He's not dead. Well, I don't know what it is. It feels like it's always rocket flood that just never die. Like, I shot the hell out of that guy. And, like, I'm aiming directly at him. And, like, everyone around him is just dropping dead. He's just looking at me like some kind of fool. And then you walk over to this thing and a bunch of little mini floods spawn. These guys are great, too. Because it's like, if you don't take the time to kill them, you just lose your shields. And then you walk over here and they just eat you alive. And there's nothing you can do about that either. So it's either walk over here and get destroyed by little flood, or you try to walk towards the door, and then like 20 rocket flood comes spewing out and destroy you. Like this is probably... I guess I should have put it differently. It's not the hardest part of the game, more as it's just like the most annoying part, because it's just... It really is just trial and error. What I'm actually going to do is throw some grenades over there. Oh, come on! That's my favorite. Sometimes these things just don't want to explode for some reason.
That did it. The pulse generator overloaded. One more to go.
Sometimes you get real lucky though, and like I don't know what they're doing, but I'm killing them, and that's all I care about. Wow. And then sometimes, like, I don't know what happened there, but I just got stupidly lucky and all the rocket flood just didn't do anything. Thank God we're done with that. It really is, like, rocket flood is really, like, the one smudge in this game. It's like, nobody really likes dealing with the rocket flood. It's just, like, you kind of just suck it up because it's like the one thing, you know. Nothing else in this game is really bullshit. It's just the rocket flood. Alright. And by the way, in case you didn't know, this is definitely going to be a one-level part, because Two Betrayals is the longest level in this game. Like, even if you're rushing through, it's, like, quite long.
That tunnel leads to the next section of canyon. The final pulse generator we need to destroy.
Anyways, what am I going to do? You know, honestly, I'm just going to rush past this. Like, when you're in a Banshee, like, it's not really much of a threat. And, like, over here there's a bunch of rocket flood. So, once again, it's better to just kind of rush and just hope they don't kill you. Most of the time, they generally don't lead their shots very well, so you're usually okay. But sometimes, just sometimes they get lucky and just nail you. But it's never actually happened to me, so... I don't know. Anyways. Let's kind of back up here. As soon as the door opens, everyone's just like, oh shit, door's open. Go on through. And you just want to kind of keep blasting the door. It's actually possible to, like, this is supposed to stop vehicles, but because vehicle physics are kind of, I guess for lack of a better word, kind of flimsy, you can kind of, like, put a ghost in that door. Like, you put it backwards, and then you kind of ram it through with the Banshee. And it'll generally work. Jeez, they were just hugging that door, eh? Alright, anyways. Of course, obviously they never intend for you to actually bring it, so like this part of the level isn't really designed around it, and you can actually kind of accidentally skip part of the level if you're not careful. Anyways, in this big open room again. Once again, big open room with like no cover, and that's pretty much how they expect you to fight. That's like the one thing people complain about this level is a lot of this is just like wide open areas with no cover, so it can be kind of hard to deal with it, especially since Flood use a lot of instant hit weapons, right? Because they're using human weapons, so like it can be basically impossible to actually like really dodge them. But the intention is that you're just kind of taken out before they even get a chance to shoot you. The thing with Flood, like I mentioned, because of the way they work, it's actually not too unreasonable to deal with them at longer ranges, because the reality is the way they work is they basically pick a spot when they start shooting, and they'll just shoot their entire clip without really like, they don't change their aim mid-shot. So like that's why if you like stand in one spot, they'll just destroy you, but if you're moving around a little bit, it's pretty hard to like really die from them. Anyways, once again, you kind of walk up here and then some Flood kind of pop out, and one of them will have a rocket. I don't know which one it is, but they're trying not to die from. Wow, that was a really good grenade. God damn. I'm actually proud of that grenade. Where's the guy with the rockets? No, he's here somewhere. I guarantee you there'll be a rocket somewhere. Yep, there it is. Look at that ammo. There's two! Like, fuck! Even I thought there was only one. God! It's funny how you never really get to play a level where you get to use rockets as much as in this one. Ooh. Is there any other weapons? I really don't want a shotgun right now. This next part is pretty difficult if you don't have like a decent long-range weapon. I might actually pick up the assault rifle just because... Well, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to pick up an assault rifle. I will pick up a plasma rifle though. If that's my best option. Because at least the plasma rifle is pretty accurate at longer ranges. Alright, that's what we're going with. Because we're about to, well, you know where we're going because we've already played this part of the level, just going the other way. By the way, I totally forgot I brought this up earlier, but yeah. Getting lost in this game. I always thought it was funny that people complain. Like, you see a lot of people, like, even now, it's like some people will be like, oh, I played this game for the first time, and they just complain that, like, it's so confusing, I just get lost all the time, this sucks. And it's like, I've never understood that. Like, look on the floors, the walls, everything. There's arrows everywhere in these Forerunner levels. So, like, even though everything looks the same, you really shouldn't be getting lost. Just follow the arrow. Or if you're playing this level, follow the opposite direction of the arrow. And it's like, even in 343 Guilty Spark, even though that level is designed for you to get lost, even then, there's rarely more than, like, one way to go, really. It's just, a lot of the rooms look the same. But it's like, just keep walking where the new enemies are. Like, if you walk into a room and there's no enemies, you've probably been there already. That's the general rule of thumb for pretty much any FPS game, honestly. Anyways, yeah, this is like one of my favorite moments of the whole game. Like, you walk up, like, you got the snow, you've got the great music, Under Cover of Night. This is the only time the full song plays, too. And you walk up here, and then you walk over here, you look, and there's just, like, a whole, like, oh, this is Zealot running towards me. This is why I wanted this plasma rifle. Oh, shit. That's not what usually happens, but that Zealot got really, well, zealous, I guess. Usually, like, you kind of walk up here and you just see the Flood and, like, elites and shit just shooting that crap out of each other, and it looks really beautiful, I always thought, because it's like, look at this. Like, it's just like, this is Halo, man. This is Halo. You just look at, like, this massive battle happening over here, and you're not even involved in it. It's like, what other game does this kind of thing? And it's not just, like, cheap effects. Like, these are all enemies that are really fighting. You can walk over here and interact with them in any way you want. Alright, get out of here. Oh, crap! And sometimes they... Stop hitting me! Oh my god! Please, Flood, shoot them! Thank god. See? Isn't that helpful? And it's really cool because you hear a lot of things you don't really get to hear normally when Covenant are fighting Flood and stuff, because they have a bunch of quotes for like killing stuff, but like obviously if they're only killing you, it's like, unless you're dying, you never hear that. And even if you do hear them, a lot of times you won't even get to hear the whole thing, because like they usually take a second before they do it. I think I'll just grab Ghost. There's nothing on this side. What's kind of a funny little detail is like if you walk over here, I guess drive over here. It's like, this is where the flood comes from. If you walk over here, you can kind of go in here for a while, and then there's just like a big, like, cave-in. Like it actually, like, collapsed at one end, which I thought was a cool little detail. Bunch of ammo here you don't need. Actually, I'm going to do something just in case here. So, little tidbit about how weapons in this game work when you pick them up. When you pick something up, it is there forever. It will never go away. So, like, if I pick up this rocket and leave the ammo there now, even if I come back, it won't despawn. Normally, if you, like, leave an area and come back after a certain amount of time, all the weapons despawn. But if you pick it up, it's there forever and it will never disappear. So if you find, like, a good weapon, but you can't use it at the moment, and you might come back for it, it's a good idea to kind of pick it up and just kind of back off. And then that way, if you come back later, it's still there, guaranteed. It's funny because there's actually glitches related to that in later levels, because you can actually cause the game to overload from just tons of weapons. Because in the last level, there's a spawn that's actually, like, infinite. So, like, if you keep picking up weapons that the enemies are dropping, eventually there's so many weapons that, like, effects will stop happening. I'm gonna go over here and kind of goad these guys and kind of running up here. Because, once again, bunch of rocket flood over here, but they don't really approach. They're kind of shy. Oof. I'm not sure if they actually approach at all. Rocket Flood are weirdly defensive, too. That's something that makes them kind of hard to deal with. Because most Flood just kind of run towards you, but like Rocket Flood tend to hang out in the back, usually, a lot of the time. Man, these guys are really just kind of not caring, huh? Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot him. That's what I'm going to do. Take care of that, my pal. Alright, where are the rocket flood? Let's just... Nailed him. Oh, that's a corpse. No, that's not a corpse. What the heck? How are my shots not hitting him? What's going on there? He's magic! Kill the witch! That took care of him. What the heck? Like, it looked like my shots are like going right through him. That was weird. Alright, well. Bunch of rocket flood here, and I don't really have any good way of dealing with them, because you can't really snipe them without a pistol. So I guess I'll just pew pew. Hope they don't shoot me. Rocket flood can also shoot from surprisingly far away, but sometimes they just, I'm not sure. They don't really want to. So it's what sucks about rocket flood. They're just really inconsistent sometimes. Sometimes it just feels like you don't really know what to expect. That's kind of the flood in a nutshell, though, so I can't really say that's particularly true of rocket flood. It's just rocket flood, like, I just keep bringing it up, like, they're just such a threat. Because it's like, if you make one mistake, you just die. Even on easy, I think they can insta-kill you. So at least they're kind of consistent about that. Actually, I guess on easy, you probably just lose your shields. Because your shields kind of suck up the rocket damage. I will take the sniper rifle for now. I think the flood over here is dead. I think so. I really hope so, because if I drive over here and die, I'm going to be pretty sad. Because I don't think I've got any checkpoints yet. Alright, that's good. So I don't think they intended for you to get the ghost up here, but you can kind of just nudge it up here. Pretty easily, actually. I always found it funny, like you drive over and I swear to God there's just an explosion that goes up into that rate. I always thought that was weird. Anyways, this is probably one of Like, this is the largest battle in the entire series, actually, is what this is. But sadly, it's mostly just Covenant. Like, there's a couple Flood that spawn in at the start, but they tend to die pretty fast. And it can be really hard to even just shoot the elites. Because they're super defensive, right? Boom! Took out that guy. And I'm not a great shot, so... God damn. Wow, I'm a really bad shot officer. Holy crap. Usually I'm a bit better about this, but damn. Ugh, what is wrong with me? Like, I wasn't even moving. He's like twitching, and I'm just like, can't hit him. Makes me feel like an idiot, man. Oh! I knew they came out, but I didn't think they came out this fast. Yeah, a bunch of Invisible Flood. Invisible Flood are pretty much just as aggressive as Zealots, so they'll kind of rush you. And there's like a bunch of them here, too. It's like the only time you see them the whole level, too. So it actually catches you off guard pretty well. Because, like, in, like, this dark ice field, they, like, blend in really well with the background and stuff. Alright, is there anything else here? I guess I'll try to see if I can shoot a jackal or something. Surprisingly, all the enemies are actually pretty much dead already. Look away so I can shoot your head. Please. Pretty please. Stop looking at the elite. Don't give him a pat on the back. Give him like a slap on the butt or something. Got him. Sounds like I just had like a really bad shit or something. Alright, let's go get some more ammo. And maybe a health pack. There's plenty of health packs here, so it's not like it's a big deal. Alright, so let's get... I think I will take the pistol over anything else. Pistol rocket's good here. Shotgun can be good too, but this is like one of those areas where it's just like it's really long range, so it's not the best idea to have a shotgun. Like, even though the shotgun's long range in this game, like, it's not quite that long range. Oh, there's the Zealots. Yeah, there's like a ton of Zealots here. They don't spawn in until you get close though, so like this is what makes this battle so big, is not only is there like a ton of enemies, but like after you kill a bunch of them and kind of, whoa, approach, more spawn in. Except for some reason, that Wraith went crazy there. He just like rammed a jackal, I think. Holy crap, I've never seen that before. I've never seen this Wraith be this aggressive, wow. Usually they both hang back, but this guy's like right up in my face. I'm actually gonna go over here and try to get away from it. See if I can rocket him. No, I can't even. He's like way over there. This is quite an atypical fight. Usually the Wraiths aren't this aggressive. That's interesting. And again, I guess this is first for everything, huh? Take that guy out. Why are they going to be shooting at us? Since I fired some shots, I assume they're shooting me, but I guess I didn't, like, trigger them enough, so they don't really care. Oh! When the music starts playing, that's when more enemies spawn again. Specifically, the hunters spawn in now. Where's the Wraith? Yeah, look how, like, what is this? I've never seen this Wraith move around this much. This is fascinating to me. Oh! Alright. What's that rocket I saw? Did I get the ammo from it already? Oh, nowhere camo leads too. Fuck, I forgot about these guys. Like, you can see what I mean? Like, the enemies just keep coming. Like, there's so many enemies, you just kind of have to take them all out. Like, once again, I think they expect you to kind of just go to the side and just kind of slip on by with a ghost or something, but, like, actually fighting all these enemies is really fun. It's, like, one of, like, the few times you just get a huge, like array of enemies and just, like, you given a bunch of weapons before and just really go at her. It's pretty unique in that regard, I guess. I mean, you can kind of do it other times, but this is the only time they do it on purpose. Anyways, let's see. That band rate should be pretty low, so I'm going to start pistoling it. There you go. Oh ho ho ho! What a shot! Did you see that, crap? That was awesome. Ugh. See what I mean though? Like, look how accurate that guy is, man. I'm gonna see if I can get lucky. They're pretty good at dodging plasma pistol shots, but sometimes they get a little sloppy. Case in point, bada bing, bada boom. Fortunately, I went into cover, so there's not much I can do about that. But I took out the other one, so it's not a big deal. He should just be behind cover though, so hopefully I killed him with that, or maybe he's like way off. Oh, he's way away. Actually, I didn't even notice. Actually, I think that's a different guy. Yeah, because he had a need there. There's the so is the actual elite still alive somewhere or what? Hopefully not, because it's pretty hard to deal with them right now. Hunters by themselves are pretty like easy to kill, but it's the times when they're around other enemies that actually make them difficult. Wow, I cannot believe I did this almost all without taking damage. And the hunter did like that weird double shot thing they sometimes do, and just almost annihilated me. I'm gonna throw a grenade. Distract him. Alright, please don't shoot. Ugh! Please just die! I cannot believe I touched the rock right when he meleeed me. Oh. God. That should be everything, thank God. Let's just finish this level. God. If you do this level, like, properly, like, it is so long. Fuck, is it such a great level, though. Like, that's all I can really say about this. Like, I think this level is just, like, such a beautiful example of what Halo's sandbox lets you do. Like, it's just so fun to just move through the level, picking up all these different weapons and vehicles, and just fighting all these enemies. Here's kind of a unique section where you get to fight the Sentinels with a Banshee. And it can be surprisingly hard. Like, you wouldn't realize it, but the Sentinel beams actually do a ton of damage to you, so you have to kind of be careful. Like, if they're all shooting you at once, you die really fast. So you want to be careful about that. Also, that was weird. The door open when I killed them. I wonder why. I think that's like a trigger that they set up, but for some reason the door doesn't stay open. This part's kind of disappointing because like they give you all these weapons stuff. It makes you think there's gonna be one last big battle in here, but all that's in here is just some Sentinels. So it's like, really, just carry a plasma pistol from the previous area and just walk in here. Maybe try to be fancy and try to get a good grenade toss, because if you like get like a nice stick, it's like takes care of them pretty well. Unfortunately, I did not, so. But Sentinels really aren't that like hard to deal with, because all you really have to do is just kind of. Oh right, these ones have shields. I actually forgot about that. Never mind, these ones are a little tougher. Because if they have shields, they don't die from one plasma pistol shot anymore. Got to hit him twice. So I'm actually going to go back out and get some shotgun. Because even though they take very little damage from human weapons, shotgun is strong enough at close range that it does do some decent damage. Actually, there's that stealthily. Does he have a plasma rifle? Oh, there's another one! What the heck? Where'd this guy come from? This guy wasn't here. He was like hiding. Okay. Well, I might as well pick up the shotgun anyways. Oof. Thankfully, the shields recharge really slowly, so... There we go. All dealt with. Thank God.
Final target neutralized.
So it just goes forever.
Let's find a ride and get to the captain.
No, that'll take too long.
You have a better idea?
There's a teleportation grid that runs throughout Halo. That's how the monitor moves about so quickly. I learned how to tap into the grid when I was in the control center. Unfortunately, each jump requires a rather consequential expenditure of energy.
Something tells me I'm not gonna like this.
But I'm pretty sure I can pull it from your suit without permanently damaging your shields. Needless to say, I think we should only try this once.
Do it.
See you guys later.